this granny square tutorial. Here I'm going to show you how to make the basic granny square. So this is the basic one. This is the one that a lot of people learn first. So the basic granny square, and I will talk you through how to start it off, how to do the corners, and how to make it as big or as little as you like. So materials you'll need, I'm using a 4mm crochet hook, and I'm using a double knit weight yarn because that suits what you're making. So how we begin a granny square is the same as how we begin any crochet project. We start with a chain. So in my case, I'll do my slip knot, and I'm going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have a chain of 4 there. And what I need to do now is I need to slip stitch into the 4th chain from the hook. Now we never count the loop that's on the hook. We always count the stitches afterwards. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one on the end. And notice I do not work into the slip knot, I work into the chain. So I'm just going to slip, so I insert the hook and I yarn over and I pull through the 2 loops, and I've joined it together now so it's like a ring. So how we start the granny square is we need to make 3 chains for the first stitch, just as we do whenever we are making a double crochet or a UK treble. So chain 1, chain 2, chain 3, yarn over. And we're going to work into the center of the ring. So I'll do a double crochet in there. Okay, so now I have 2 stitches. I'm going to do 1 more. Okay, so that's 3 double crochet stitches there. So I've got the chain 3, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, 3 in total. And if you can see in the square, this is how we start. So we have basically a circle shape, and then we have to create 4 clusters. And from those clusters, we will develop corners. So I've done my first cluster. Now I need to chain 3 and do my second cluster. So back into the center of the ring and do 3 double crochet stitches. Okay, so now I have 2, and you can kind of see where I've got my first corner developing there. So chain 3 again and do another 3 crochet stitches. So another 3 doubles. Just get my tail out the way. So there's my first double crochet. It's my second double crochet and my third double crochet. So now you can see it's starting to develop into a square shape. You might not get this right the first time, but that's why we practice. So 1, 2, 3 chains and 3 double crochet stitches into the center of the ring. Okay, and now to close the square, we just chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to slip into the top of the first chain that we did. So the first chain 3 of the round. Okay, so you slip into the top there. Now, I'll address the common issues. Common issues we have when we're trying to make granny squares is tension. So that's something that if you're new to crochet especially, you'll have an issue with tension to start with. And that is not because you are rubbish at crochet, that is perfectly normal. So the common issues that people have is sometimes the square will be curling up, curling in on itself like that. Sometimes it will seem too loose, too big, and there's a few simple ways that you can fix that. So say, for example, I have told you to chain 3 between clusters. For you, that might be too tight, or it might be too loose. So if your tension is quite tight, what you might need to do here is actually chain 4 instead of 3. Never be afraid to add an extra chain if it means that your square will lie flat. Another thing, if you are chaining loosely or you've got quite loose tension, you might want to knock this down to 2 chains. Because what we're aiming for is for your square to lie flat. And this makes it easier to join it if you're going to make it into a blanket or a bag or a garment. We need it to lie flat. So in this case, it does lie flat. Another thing that you can do is, I'm using a 4mm crochet hook for a double knit weight yarn. That doesn't mean you have to always use a 4mm crochet hook. You might find that going up by 0.5 mm helps. You might find that's a more agreeable tension. You might find that going down by 0.5 mm helps. So this is a 4mm, but I could use a 4.5mm if I felt that this tension was too tight. Never be afraid to do that when you're looking at patterns. Unfortunately, what you will also have to do is practice. So your first square could be more rounded, your first square could be too tight. What I'd advise is maybe doing 2 or 3 squares and having a look at what you did differently and which one looks the best and why. And if none of them look the best, then you just need to practice more. None of us can be an expert just after looking at one YouTube video. It all takes practice. So moving on to the next phase of the granny square. So this is just the center, and as you can see, we need to develop the corners. We need to make this square bigger. So I will explain how we take it from that little shape in the middle to a full-blown square. So what I do at the start of every new round is I will slip across the top of these 2 double crochet stitches. So slip 1, slip 2. Okay, and now I need to slip into the chain space of the first corner. So you should be here. You should have slipped across those stitches there and slipped into this chain space. So the chain space is the gap that we create with chains or stitches. So all we have to do is we chain 3, because that's how we start a new round. And we're going to do 2 more double crochets into this chain space. Okay, so now I have 3. Now you've done this before, it's no different to what you've done here, here and here. But it is different now because we need to develop the corner. So we're going to chain 1. Now bear in mind what I said before about tension. Chain 1 might not be enough for you, you might need to chain 2. But I've chained 1. And I'm going to do 3 more double crochets into the same chain space that I have just worked in. And this is what creates that V shape. This is what creates a corner. Okay, so there we go. That is my first corner. And it'll look a bit odd when you start. It might look a little bit rounded, but just be patient with yourself and finish the round before you make any rash decisions. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And I want you to do 2 more clusters into this corner. Okay, so do my first double crochet, second double crochet, third double crochet. Okay, and just like I did before, I'm going to chain 1 and I'm going to do another 3 double crochet stitches into that same chain space. Okay, chain 3, and into the third chain space we go. 2, 3. Now I use US crochet terms mostly, but I will let you know when it's actually a, it's also known as a UK treble. Don't think you only have to learn one set of terms as well. You can learn both sets of terms, and it means no pattern is out of your reach. So here we go. I've got 2 clusters of double crochet separated by 1 crochet chain. Chain 3 again, and go into that last corner now and make 3 double crochet stitches. Chain 1 and 3 more. Okay, 1 more in there. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and to close the square now don't panic if it's not looking very square, okay? Give it a chance. So all we have to do now is I'm going to chain 3 and I'm going to slip stitch into the top of this chain, okay? So in we go, into the top, slip. Okay, that is the second round, and that's when you start to see the granny square taking shape. And I'll show you how to do the rest of the rounds. This is the part where things can get quite tricky, especially as your square is growing. This is usually the part where the beginner becomes a lot more confident and is enjoying going round, each round. And that's great, but there's some things you need to watch out for. So what I've seen students do is, after we've done the first couple of rounds, we encounter extra chain spaces that are not corners. And you have to remember that there are only ever 4 corners. I'm saying this because a common mistake that people make is they add extra clusters at the sides when they don't need to, or they get so used to doing the side clusters that they forget to do a double cluster in the corner. So I'll show you how to avoid that. So we're going to start the next round as we have done previously. So slip across the, do that again. So slip across the top of the stitches until you get to your first chain space corner. Okay, so we're going to start in that corner. And just like we have done, we're going to work our double cluster for the corner. So that's 3 double crochet stitches, followed by 1 chain, followed by 3 more double crochet stitches into the same chain space. And that will be our first corner. Now, as your square gets bigger, you'll have more side chain spaces to work with, and you mustn't forget about them. So 1, 2, 3 chains. So this is the first time that we have to deal with the side of the square, okay? And all we have to do is insert our hook into the chain space and make 3 double crochets. So obviously if you're going to be making a double crochet, you have to do a yarn over to begin with. Okay, and chain 1, chain 2, chain 3. So you see, I just went into the side once. That's all we have to do. We have to go in once. And there's my next corner. So corners will never change. They will always be 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. Okay, so chain 1, 1, 2, 3. Okay, there's my second corner. So you'll know what I always recommend is when you've done your corner, just look back and check, right, okay, yeah, I've got one there and I've done a corner there. Just always look back. I've done it myself. I've done really big blankets and I've got so into what I'm doing that I've forgotten to do the corner clusters. So I'm working into another side stitch here, so this chain space on the side, and all I need to do is do one cluster. So chain 3 again and do a double cluster because it's a corner. You'll get into a rhythm and it's quite repetitive. It's just remembering to do those sides and corners. 2, 3. Okay, so there's 3 corners done. And then chain 1, 2, 3. Okay, and something else that people do as well is they get so used to the first 2 rounds is that they forget to work into the sides as well. So you have side chain spaces there. Okay, chain 3. Work your last corner just as you do every corner. The corners will never change. They will always be this shape and they will always require you to do 2 clusters. Okay, they will always require the same amount of work. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Last side chain space that we do. Now as your square gets bigger, the amount of side chain spaces you do will increase as well. Okay, 1, 2, 3. And finally, just like you do with the other rounds, is you slip into the top of the first chain that you did. Okay, so there is our square. Now as you can see, mine's a little bit frilly, but if I block it, it will be nice and square. But if it was bigger than I wanted it to be, I'd do 2 chains here instead of 3. Okay, and this is what you should have at the end. So you see the way there's side chain spaces here, and they only get bigger, okay, as it grows. But your corners always stay the same, so it's a V shape all the way to the end. I'll show you the final round now, and this will be to make a standard square. So I'm going to slip across till I get to the first chain space. I'm in the corner now, so I'm going to chain 3 and work my first corner. Okay, so get those 3 double crochets in there, 1, chain 1, and do 3 more double crochets into that corner. Now I will publish, if you check on my Ravelry or my online store, there is written instructions to accompany this. It's worth doing because then it helps you to understand and read patterns. So work into the side stitch. There we go. So just 3 double crochets there. Okay, and chain 1, 2, 3. And this is another side chain space. It's not a corner. So just take your time and think about, have you done your corners? Are there only 4 corners? 1, 2, 3 chains. Now what you could do if you needed to is you could pop a removable stitch marker into each corner so that you remember there's only 4. It may seem silly me saying this now, but honestly, when you get going with this, you might forget your corners. It happens. Okay, one more. Okay, there's my next corner. See how it's starting to grow now? 2, 3. Do the sides. So you can see why doing a granny square is quite addictive, because you are just chaining and working into the chain space rather than into the stitches. It's quite relaxing. You can make so many of them. 2, 3. Let me go again. So always work into the chain spaces. We don't work into the chains. We don't work directly into the stitches. We don't need to. Another note on fibres used. So this square I'm making now is done in a superwash merino wool. So wool behaves well when it has been blocked. So if it seems a bit curly or a bit tight, just give it a little soak and put it out on a blocking board, or dry it out with some pins to hold it apart. If it's acrylic, it should be a lot more well behaved when it comes to lying flat, but also with acrylic you will know if it's too tight, because if it curls up, it's quite hard to get acrylic to relax again without killing the fabric. Oops, there we go. 3 more into the last. It's the last corner we're doing now. Two, 3. Chain 1, 2, 3. In we go again. Okay, we're nearly there, so you can see. And my square will need blocking because it's a little bit curly, because it's a nice soft wool. Yours might lie a bit flatter. So I'll do my last one now. Chain 3, 2, 3. Okay, and just like we have done with all the other previous rounds, we just slip into the top. Ta-da! After all I've said about tension and everything, mine is actually quite curly. But what I'll do is I will give this a block in some water and I'll hold it out with pins, and it should lay nice and flat. So that, I'll show you this one as well. That is how we do a granny square.